Yeah, it's really bad at the moment, and before Baku we have a lot of work to do to, yeah, basically change the whole car.
These words from Max Verstappen echo through the Formula One paddock, signaling an unprecedented crisis in the Red Bull team. The 2024 Italian GP wasn't just another race, it was the turning point that could redefine the entire season. As Charles Leclerc crossed the finish line in Monza, sending Ferrari fans into a frenzy, the eyes of the F1 world turned to the midfield, where Red Bull cars were struggling to stay relevant. How did the team that dominated the first half of the season now find itself fighting to score points? Get ready to dive behind the scenes of one of the biggest turnarounds in recent Formula One history. We'll unravel the problems plaguing Red Bull, analyze the implications for the championship, and explore how this crisis is redefining the dynamics of the season. And we can't ignore it. With Red Bull stumbling, are McLaren and Ferrari ready to take control? The Constructors' Championship, which seemed decided a few races ago, is now more open than ever. If you're an F1 fan and want to understand the implications of this dramatic turnaround, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's go back to the beginning of this fateful Sunday in Monza, but this time, with our eyes fixed on the Red Bull cars. The lights go out, and the roar of engines echoes through the circuit. Max Verstappen, starting from an unusual 7th position, struggles to gain ground. His teammate Sergio Perez is in no better situation, starting 8th. The choice of hard tires for the start, a strategy that often led Red Bull to victory in the past, now seems like a critical mistake. The blue cars struggle to find grip, losing positions in the first laps instead of gaining them. As the race progresses, it becomes clear that this isn't just about a wrong tire choice. The RB20, the car that dominated the start of the season, seems a shadow of itself. Verstappen and Perez report balance problems, lack of grip, and difficulties overtaking theoretically slower cars over the radio. The frustration is palpable. Verstappen, normally calm and calculated, curses over the radio as he's overtaken by cars from midfield teams. Perez, in turn, can barely stay in the points. While Leclerc leads the race with a brilliant one-stop strategy, focus turns to the Red Bull pits, where desperation begins to set in. Christian Horner, team principal, is in constant communication with his engineers, seeking solutions that simply don't appear. Verstappen's pit stop is a disaster. A problem with the right rear wheel costs precious seconds, perfectly symbolizing the team's disastrous weekend. The three-time world champion returns to the track in an even worse position, practically out of contention for significant points. At the end of the race, Verstappen crosses the finish line in a modest 6th place, with Perez in 8th. For a team accustomed to dominating, these results are nothing short of catastrophic. Verstappen's words after the race are a grim omen for the team. "We're in a bad moment, and before Baku we have a lot of work to do, basically change the whole car." This bombshell statement not only confirms the gravity of the situation, but also casts doubt on the team's immediate future. Red Bull's crisis isn't just about poor results in one race. It's a sign of fundamental problems with the car, problems that may require a complete overhaul of the RB20. With the championship now wide open, the question remains, will Red Bull be able to recover in time to defend its title? Behind the scenes, explanations begin to emerge. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's consultant, admits that the team's problems are starting to get serious. Christian Horner, team principal, acknowledges that the RB20 simply didn't adapt well to Monza's unique characteristics. But the concerns go beyond this specific race. The Austrian team has been struggling for a few races to find the car's ideal balance. The updates brought don't seem to be having the desired effect, and there's a growing sense that Red Bull may have reached the development limit of the RB20. The situation is so alarming that even the ever-confident Max Verstappen expresses his frustration. "We were in no man's land," the Dutchman declares after the race, a rare admission of vulnerability from the three-time world champion. As we analyze Red Bull's problems more deeply, an inevitable question arises. Are we witnessing the end of the Austrian team's era of dominance? Or is this just a temporary stumble in a season of ups and downs? While Red Bull struggles to maintain its position, an orange force emerges on the horizon. McLaren, a team with a glorious past but facing difficult years recently, seems to have found the formula for success. The weekend in Monza was another demonstration of the Woking team's renaissance. Lando Norris secures pole position, with Oscar Piastri right behind, ensuring an all-orange front row. In the race, both drivers show impressive pace, finishing on the podium in second and third. But what's behind this meteoric rise? The answer seems to lie in a combination of aggressive car development and an extremely talented driver lineup. The updates brought by the team since the Miami GP have transformed the MCL38 into an increasingly competitive car. A fascinating aspect of McLaren's dynamics are the so-called papaya rules. During the race, we heard the team mention these rules several times over the radio. But what exactly are they? Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren Racing, explains, "It's a reminder for our drivers to race each other with respect, giving enough space and avoiding contact. This approach has allowed Norris and Piastri to fight fairly on track, maximizing the team's results." Now think about it. With McLaren on a clear upward trajectory and Red Bull facing difficulties, are we about to see a seismic shift in the balance of power in Formula One? What do you think? Does McLaren have what it takes to dethrone Red Bull, or will the Austrian team recover and maintain its position at the top? Leave your opinion in the comments. Speaking of changes, let's take a look at the Constructors' Championship. The numbers don't lie, and they tell a fascinating story of rise and fall. After the Italian GP, Red Bull still leads with 446 points. But look at McLaren. With 438 points, they're just 8 points behind. A gap that was once over 100 points has practically evaporated in a matter of a few races. And we can't forget Ferrari. With the home victory, the Italian team now totals 407 points, just 39 behind the leader. It's a three-way battle that promises to keep fans on the edge of their seats until the end of the season. This situation in the Constructors' Championship is a direct reflection of the team's technical evolution throughout the season. While McLaren and Ferrari have brought effective updates, constantly improving their cars' performance, Red Bull seems to have stagnated, unable to maintain the advantage they had at the beginning of the year. So, what can we expect for the rest of the season? If the Italian GP taught us anything, it's that in Formula One, nothing is guaranteed. Dominance can be ephemeral, and perseverance can lead to surprising results. The upcoming races will be crucial. We'll see if Red Bull can recover and maintain its lead, or if McLaren and Ferrari can capitalize on their current form and turn the tables. One thing is certain, this Formula One season is far from over and promises even more excitement. Every race, every lap, every pit stop could be the moment that defines the championship. Don't miss a single moment of this epic battle. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us as we continue to unravel the secrets, strategies, and dramas of this incredible Formula One season. Until the next race.